We saw it firsthand last year. Players leveling up and changing the game for Texas A&M. Le'Veon Moss turned into an SEC bell cow and true star in the conference. Marcel Reed went from just backup curiosity to absolute spark plug in a couple of games this year, and a guy we're very excited to see in 2025. And Armaj Reed Adams went from kind of unsung portal pick to the best graded offensive guard in the country. And that's what we're talking about today. Not 5 stars with hype, not necessarily newcomers, not portal headliners. This list is about players who are already around, but are poised to take a real jump in the 2025 season. And it's not just about who's going to be good. It's about who has the biggest ground to gain in their improved play or improved opportunity. The biggest potential leap from where they were to where they could be. So no, this is not going to be a list full of newcomers. I'm not going to go through every transfer portal player and say these are the breakout players. We've got a whole other video for that coming out. Today's about elevation and the Aggies who could break out in a big way, and I'm going to rank them 8 through 1. But before we get into it, guys, just make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I'm going to continue to put out content like this, previewing the Aggies. I'm actually going to preview some of the opponents this year so we can get a better understanding for the LSUs of the world, the Texases of the world, teams like that. We're going to do a lot more stuff this coming season. We're going to have watch parties. It's going to be a lot of fun. And once we hit 3,000 subscribers, I'm going to do something very special for the channel. I'm going to go live. I'm going to do some giveaways. I'm going to ring dunk on the channel yet again. I did that for 1,000 subs. We're going to run that back, and I'm going to field your calls right after. That should be a hell of a night. So if you guys could help me out by dropping a sub, that would be awesome. Help an Aggie out. I'm trying to grow this thing and bring you guys as much Aggie content as I can. Let's get right into this thing. At number 8, I'm going to cheat out the gate. I'm starting with a tie because I really don't know who's going to separate here. Or maybe there's no separation and both of these guys emerge. It's Isaiah Williams and Ashton Bethel-Roman. In this receiver room, you have a trio that we think are going to get most of the reps at the top. That's KC Concepcion, that is Terry Bussey, and that's Mario Craver. But outside of that, there are a lot of players that can make a name for themselves, including these two, including a Jerome Miles, who might be in another video very shortly. But today we're talking about these two guys. Isaiah Williams brought a lot of juice in that spring game, and I know it's a spring game, and I know we got to take it with a grain of salt, but I was quite frankly very impressed with kind of the amount of energy he brought to the field. He had that extra gear. He was able to kind of just energize the team with his play, contested grabs, had kind of an unsung ability to break angles with his speed, which I was not expecting, and I feel very differently about him coming out of that spring game, but we'll see. ABR is your size, speed guy on this offense. You don't have a big receiver, and the closest thing you have is ABR, and he kind of feels like a do-it-all at his 6'2 size. He was close to cracking the rotation last year. I think the coaches are very high on him, and I think he has a clear path to gain that wide receiver 4 or even 3 kind of label if he's able to elevate his game. And I think both of these guys, or at least one of them, is going to make a damn name for themselves this coming season. At number 7, this is a guy we've talked about a lot this offseason. I think this is a guy that has a big role in this team next year in kind of determining where this defense could go. It's DJ Hicks. And it's a bit of a projection pick because he didn't necessarily pop consistently last year. He has that 5-star tape, and he did flash late in the season. His time is now. There's a 3-man upperclassman rotation at the top of this D-line room. They're all stepping in for players who've departed for the NFL draft, specifically Shamar Turner, and DJ Hicks is right in the middle of that thing. And he's the kind of guy that if he finally fully lives up to that 5-star tape, which he very much has a chance to do, he could have a big leap this year because he's going to have that elevated role. He has the measurables. He absolutely has the opportunity. So DJ Hicks, man, he has a lot of ground to gain with his play if he can put it all together and do what he did in that LSU game on a consistent basis. At number 6, this one might be a little controversial. This is one I've been kind of workshopping in my mind a little bit. It's a name you wouldn't expect in a breakout players list because he's been around for 4 years. This is his 5th year. It's Albert Regis, also in that defensive line. This one, quite opposite of DJ Hicks, has been steady Eddie through his 3 years of playing time now. He played games in 2022, appeared in 11 games that season. He's been around forever. And what Albert Regis did in 2024 is totally transform his body. He leaned down, trimmed the fat, became a very lean 310. If you can even say that, he is that. Energetic, mobile, very elusive, and kind of high motor defensive tackle. Now another year to stamp in that new build. Now more of a focal point of this defense, a true leadership role. He's always had leadership traits. Listen to him in interviews, a very interesting guy to listen to. You know, I know he's going to be steady for A&M this year. And last year, he brought some good stuff. 6 batted passes to lead this defense. He had the best missed tackle rate of that entire D-line at like a 7.6 rate, astronomically low. That's better than any of the Shamars or Scorton. If he can become a little bit more disruptive and have a couple more big plays, that could be enough. That could be the kind of disruptive force with his new body style, with his style of play, with those other qualities that he brings that could really elevate this defensive line. So we're going to go 7-6. DJ Hicks and Albert Regis, a couple of interior defensive linemen with massive opportunities this year thanks to Shamar Turner leaving the program. And now these guys, another year further developed. At number 5, moving to the offense, Demetrius Crownover. It's been 5 years in the oven. And from the day we started this channel, we've talked about Demetrius. We've always said this is a guy who has a long arc to becoming the player that he's capable of being. Came into college, moving from tight end, giant tight end in high school, to true offensive tackle, where he obviously has that NFL build. He has everything physically you could ever want at the next level. And he struggled. He struggled a lot. New position, everything's a new feel for him out there. And he had by far his best season in 2024, and it wasn't perfect. And he still has another level to gain if he's to get that NFL draft pick that his body is very capable of having. But he kind of got this knack for being vicious. He kind of got this knack to have a big punch and really want to hurt people. And if he could put it all together and just kind of clean up the footwork and technique consistently, this man could be an absolute NFL draft pick and a steal for whichever team gets that body into their program. And this offensive line, it has that continuity that's going to help him out. He has an established role that's going to help him out. He's going to be probably entering as a day one starter this season. I think the sky's the limit for Demetrius this year. This is where you reap what you've sown with a guy like Demetrius Crownover. Number 4, and the reason this guy's not higher is because we already know what he is, and he's just going to have an expanded role. And if he is exactly the same way he was last year, he will be a star. And that is Cassius Howell, and we all know this. Quiet killer last year. Off the bench, kind of an unsung name behind the trio of NFL draft picks that you just lost. It's his turn. Numbers-wise, he was probably our most consistent defensive lineman, just without that, high-end amount of snaps to showcase his ability to the fullest. But every time he played, he flashed. He showed elite pass rusher, elite energy, elite motor. Now, he's gained some weight. He's got to shore up in the kind of rigidity in that run-blocking opposition a little bit better. But he has gained weight. He's put on 10 pounds. He's elevating into that big role now. He's a leader for this defense. And this guy absolutely has first-day NFL upside. And if he just kind of does what he does this year with the extra opportunity, he's going to get it in that highly sought-after defensive end edge role. So, all Cassius really has to do to make us all correct about him being a breakout player is just be Cassius Howell and just do it for longer in a game. Do it for more snaps. And you do that, you're there. Elite bend, elite takeoff, great length. This guy has what you need to be an elite pass rusher, and I think he's going to do it this year. But he's only at 4 because I really don't think it's the biggest elevation because he's already freaking good. He's just going to have more snaps. Now, these top 3 are guys that I think have massive jumps in the chamber, and if it happens, if all 3 hit right here, it could be worth another game 1 for A&M because these are all huge pivotal pieces of the team that A&M could really, really use. Number 3, this is a newcomer, but he has kind of a really big kind of long tape before coming to A&M, so I'm comfortable putting him in a breakout player list. It's Amari Niblack. Here's your red zone wild card. NFL frame, soft hands, big play potential, but has just never put it together and has always been in a situation where there's a tight end ahead of him. Now playing in a Colin Klein offense that uses the tight end very, very heavily. Reed already showed some rapport with those big bodies in the kind of red zone, corner fade routes that he was showing in that bowl game with Noah Thomas. And like I said in the receiver segment, you don't have a big-bodied receiver. Amari Niblack is a hand-in-glove fit for that role for this football team. He brings exactly what this team doesn't have, and that's exactly why you brought him in from the transfer portal. From Bama to Texas to A&M, it's his time. Got good reports from spring. If he can put it all together and show that potential that the high school tape showed and put it onto the college football field, this offense has a red zone threat. So if you believe in Amari Niblack, you believe in an elevated A&M red zone offense that was already damn good for most of the season last year, at least before Le'Veon Moss went down. And number 2, back to the defensive side of the football, it's Dalton Brooks. He's been right on the edge of breakout. And now, I think it's time. I think he steps through that door and shows that NFL upside in a big way this season. He's fast, physical, has great closing speed, one of the better tacklers in the secondary last year, and he was making mistakes. Obviously, no one in the secondary was immune from that. But in the physicality department, in the run support department, I think Dalton Brooks made a big difference in the team when he came back from that string of targetings he had early in the year. You had a little bit of a problem setting the edge or maybe stopping some outside run, stopping some short pass stuff from breaking loose. And Dalton Brooks put a cap on that stuff. Now, if he can just clean up that red zone stuff, that zone defense stuff, this man has NFL upside, and I think this is the year he shows it, and it could be a massive leap to where he's an absolute star in the SEC this year. So look out for Dalton Brooks, guys. It's been a guy I've been high on since we saw him kind of play a lot in that Oklahoma State bowl game in 2023. It's his time. And number one, this is the one we're all itching to see. This is the guy that we all believe has it in the system, in the chamber, ready to go, ready to fire. It's Terry Bussey. There's no bigger gap to close than Terry Bussey, and no one more capable of closing it. High school quarterback, college DB, mid-camp switch to wide receiver. He missed some time in summer leading into his freshman year with injury, so his development was a little bit stunted by that. And he played injured throughout the middle portion of the year last year, and he still got real snaps, and he still flashed late in the season. Now, obviously, when you have a five-star talent coming to your team, you always want them to explode onto the scene right away. And that didn't happen, but I think there's a lot of reasons it didn't happen. It was an unnatural position for him. It was a jump to not only the college level, but the SEC level. It was a year one system, and now he settles in. He settles into that receiver position. He settles into the college atmosphere. And he settles in with Marcel Reed and this Colin Klein offense that could really use a guy that could take the top off at any given minute. And if you get that from Terry Bussey, you have a Casey Concepcion next to him, you have a Marcel Reed and a Le'Veon Moss in the backfield. I mean, damn, you have weapons all over the place. It's an arsenal, man. Now he's healthy. He's in a system he knows. Full off season of work. Bussey could be the most dynamic player on the field that includes those other names I just listed. If he breaks out like we think he will, we're talking SEC Freshman of the Year impact. Just, a year late. But I think that's on the table for Bussey. So there it is, guys. My top 8 breakout candidates for 2025, ranked by how big that leap could be. We've seen it before. Le'Veon, Marcel, Reed Adams. These jumps change the entire season and can define a side of the football like those 3 helped do for the offense last year. Now, if even half of this list hits, that's enough. You don't think every player's going to hit. You don't think every player's going to take that leap. But you don't necessarily need an Albert Regis to take that leap. You don't necessarily need Cassius Howell to take a monster leap. If they're good, that's good enough. But if half these guys take that monumental leap, you're looking at a totally different football than you might have expected going into the year. Now, I want to hear yours. I didn't go 10. I didn't go higher than 8. Who's your breakout player pick from 2025? Are you just going to confirm someone that I said? Or are you going to throw someone else out there? Throw me another name if you have someone. Drop it in the comments. Stay tuned. Next week, we're diving into newcomers to look out for. Transfers, freshmen. Let's see them all. I'll see you guys then. Like and sub, guys. Gig 'em.